Sallam. Alhamdulillah, the brothers are well organized. I don't know whether we're all here or some are missing, whether to, whether to herd you all together. We're well spread out. Alhamdulillah, everybody's comfortable in the position, just as long as you leave this gap here empty. So, alhamdulillah, we're just going to do a recap of the Muraqabah dua that we did, dua Muraqabah that we did this morning, just to make sure that everybody understood, and we can have some feedback and answering question sessions as well, regarding and whether you understood it, what you thought about the Muraqabah of dua this morning that we had. So, alhamdulillah, can somebody tell me what the 7 points were of the Muraqabah dua? Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yes, so we can all, maybe people from listening from yourself as well, then we can, other people can benefit as well, so we can regurgitate the information that we had, and then.
So the first was the presence, then 7 sins, then 7 blessings, then 7 wants or needs, then 7 problems, then 7 decisions, and then taking all of that and entrusting it to Allah. Those are the 7 points, correct?
Yes. You've missed one out.
I wasn't counting properly, okay. So presence, let me know if I miss one. Then 7 sins, 7 blessings, 7 wants or needs, 7 problems, 7 decisions, and entrusting it all to Allah. That's 7 points. Did I get?
Yeah, you got it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which did I miss?
I think the decision.
Problems, I think.
No, the problem, the guidance that you see.
The decisions, yes, the guidance.
Missed the first time.
Okay, mashallah. And so should I review each of them, or is that adequate?
If you want to, carry on.
I'm okay passing it on.
And the dua Muraqabah, can anybody remember what Hazrat Sahib was saying, what the essence of worship was?
Assalamu alaikum. I think Sheikh said the essence of worship is dua. And then in dua, they said the essence of dua is Muraqabah, if I'm correct.
Yes. They also said the tongue, the empty heart, the dua is not accepted with an absent mind. So what they were saying was the tongue can lie, but the tongue of the heart does not lie. So the Muraqabah that you have, that is the presence of your mind and heart and your connection where you're watching them and imagining Allah Azza wa Jalla and connecting, and that's why the heart does not lie. Does anybody else wants to give some feedback from what they understood this morning, or what they felt, or any feedback from this morning? Gulfam?
On a personal level, I found everything good, mashallah, full of power and blessings. Something I was feeling challenged by myself was actually trying to picture the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heavens. So instead, when I was finding difficulty in that, what I was doing was I was just imagining I'm conscious, I'm in Allah's presence, and then the same, expecting the light and the blessings coming down. So I wasn't sure if that was correct or what.
Yes. You see, Allah's mercy is always descending. And whenever you connect to Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal says in the Quran, "Fazkuruni azkurukum." Whenever you think of me, I think of you. So when you're thinking of Allah Azza wa Jal, then Allah's blessings start to fall on you. Imagining, to the mind, it does not make any difference whether something is real or not. If I asked you to imagine slicing a lemon in half, your mouth will start to water, even though there is no real lemon there. So to the mind, so to imagine, so it is. So whenever you're connecting yourself to Allah Azza wa Jal, everything starts to happen. So the other thing is, when people say that they cannot see, the objective is not to see. That is not the objective. But if you want to see, each one of you here, we all see. Most of the times we are fighting the seeing that we're seeing because we don't want to see, because we see the wrong things. When you're in salah, people hear all sorts of music in their ears. When they're in sajda, they see all these images that they're trying not to see. Then the shaitan has the remote control where he's playing playback, because all the things you've been seeing. So I know people who obsessively do certain sports. Someone who has been playing football for 6 hours. When he closes his eyes, he can see the football and kicking it in the back of the net. I play snooker. Sometimes when I've played snooker for 3-4 hours, I close my eyes, I can see all the balls. I can see the green bays. People who do bad things, like go to gambling, they can see the cards being flicked in front of them. So what I'm trying to say is, whatever goes in will register, and it'll be easier. People who like cars, they do not have any problems of imagining sitting behind the driving wheel and driving the car. So and that's the whole thing. That's what Hazrat Sahib teaches us. All marketing. How does it work? They show you the product, and then you start to desire it. In the same way, when we cannot see Allah Azza wa Jal, but we can see His beautiful name. So when you start to see this name, it starts to embed inside your eyes and into your heart. So the more you go, the more you do, the more, inshallah, you will see as well. But seeing is not the be all and end all. But you will start to see. We all see whatever we love. And we all think about whatever we love. And half the times we're fighting the dunya away because it's overpowered our hearts and our personalities and ourselves. So most of the times we're trying to fight that. So mashallah, that was a good point. Gigi.
Just one point to Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Just one thing which might help what brother over there has just said, because I sometimes find it hard to see, but if you try to write it in your mind, like from the alif to the hay, so as you're writing it, it etches in your brain much better. Because if you just try to see, it's hard sometimes to see the whole thing. So if you try to write it over and over again, just as a child, sort of, when you're practicing your calligraphy, just sort of do that over and over again. After a few times, it'll sort of etch in there. So that may help.
See, what I was saying was, it's not important to see. Remember this. And Ustad once said to me that is a tool to connect you to Allah Azza wa Jal. Like an old person needs a walking stick, it's a tool to help him to walk. But if you do not need the stick, then you do not need to see either. So when you see the name of Allah Azza wa Jal, it's to remind you and connect you. But if you do not need to see that and you're connected, then you don't need to see. It's same with when we see the Khazr of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We see that to connect the green blessed dome to the personality of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if you're already connected, you don't need to see the blessed dome. So this is just a tool, a walking stick to connect you. So that's why they say imagine the name of Allah. Just wait for the mic to come round.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. What I learned today is the most important thing is the hazuri. Once you come in the hazuri, just present your problems and good deed, whatever is to the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is nothing hard for Allah. Allah just need to say kun and it's possible. So we need to come in a phase from mind to heart in the hazuri of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and just present our problems or good deed and then rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah.
I had a question with one of the challenges that I faced when listing the 7 sins. I found that they bring them to the consciousness, my consciousness, and agitate my nafs, and they weren't on my mind before, especially if they're of the same nature, and one after the other, after the other, after the other. I found myself re-attracted to them in that moment because I was bringing them up. So I'm not sure how to approach that.
If the thing here is, we have all committed sins, is the regret. And the difference between a good deed and a sin, in a sin there is some pleasure but a lot of regret, a lifetime of regret, eternity full of regret. A good deed is a little bit of effort, but for eternity there is reward and peace in any good deed you've done. So whenever you've done something in the past, you did it in ignorance. Even if you knew, because if you truly knew, you wouldn't do it. So the act, the pleasure that you gained has come and gone. It was only temporary. Now, the deed is now embedded permanently in total regret. So, but you did that. I always, when I refer to myself, I says, that was my time at Jahiliyyah. That was my time of ignorance, that I did not know the severity. So you have regret doing it because you cannot derive pleasure from it. Because if you're deriving pleasure from your memories, the sins that you've done, you don't actually regret doing it. Plus, when you bring in up these 7 sins, you'll always remember sins that you've forgotten. Because some you've locked away. And so that's what to say is to bring the 7 most prominent ones. And these might, what you brought this morning, this is what you could think of now, but tomorrow there might be different ones. So to bring these, continuously bring these sins and to present them and seek to for them. But the sins that you find yourself attracted to, that's where regret comes in. Regret is a wonderful thing, because once you realize that you do this and you regret and you'll shed tears and you'll be sorry, you'll remember that for next time and next time. And then once you know that the regret will outweigh the pleasure, and you'll refrain and abstain from such things. Alhamdulillah. Is there anybody else?
Just a short question.
Does
it have to be 7 of everything?
No, it doesn't have to be 7 of everything. But there is there is wisdom and hikmah in behind the seven. There's 7 bodily organs. You do tawaf 7 times. There's 7 heavens. So there is hikmah in there. Now, if it's 7, it's easy for you to remember. If there was 2 of this, 5 of that, 6 of this, you'd think. But if there's 7 and 7 and 7, that's fine. It's easy for you to remember. If you can only remember 6, that's fine. Right? So it's not specific to it, but it's easier for you to remember the 7. So it all systematically fits in. So alhamdulillah, at least we've had a little recap. And the Ustads are here, so if you have any further questions, or you were a bit embarrassed or shy to ask, or something you didn't fully understand, so alhamdulillah, you can always ask them. Jazakallah, thanks for taking part in this. Ustad Usman will be doing his presentation now, inshallah. Jazakallah.